chemistry classes today. Topic is oxygen. Veerbhadraya Demaya, contact 9663828428 for the information. Oxygen gas can be prepared in the laboratory by heating potassium chloride with manganese dioxide. Manganese dioxide acts as a catalyst. You know, my dear students, catalyst. What is a catalyst? Catalyst is a substance which increases or decreases the rate of chemical reaction during the chemical reaction. Here in the preparation of oxygen in the laboratory, manganese dioxide acts as a catalyst. It helps in the chemical reaction to increase the formation of oxygen gas. And another method is by dropping acidified potassium permanganate on sodium peroxide in a conical flask. If you see the figure, you will understand the two important figures are there. My dear friends, by hydrogen peroxide and manganese dioxide, in this reaction, manganese dioxide used as a catalyst. The produced oxygen gas is collected in the gas jar by downward displacement of water. Dear students, please draw or write in your own language or in your own books in any question relating to the preparation of oxygen in the laboratory. You should write down the figure or draw the figure carefully using scale and pencil, mention the parts and write down the procedure, chemical reaction as well as uses. The procedure you may be briefed like this. Arrange the operators as shown in the figure. Take a mixture of potassium chlorate and manganese dioxide in a hard glass test tube, which is fitted with a stand, and heat with the help of a Bunsen burner. Chemical reaction takes place. The oxygen is liberated. The liberated oxygen is passing through the delivery tube and collected in the gas jar by the downward displacement of water. That's it. So, very important concept to answer your questions in the examination is you have to remember the 5 important parts, that is figure, parts, procedure, chemical reaction and uses. This is for your kind information, my dear students. And certain activity, experiments and practicals which are taking in your schools and colleges under the guidelines and in the presence of science master or a teacher or a subject experts. Oxygens can be prepared in the laboratory by heating potassium chloride with manganese dioxide or by dropping acidified camphor and sodium peroxide in conical flask or by hydrogen peroxide and manganese dioxide. In this reaction, manganese dioxide used as a catalyst, as I told you. The produced oxygen gas is collected by the downward displacement of water. My dear students, practical record book you should mention the experiment, observation and inference. 3 columns. Please write in your own language as I told you in the previous class or a previous slide, figured parts, procedure and chemical reaction and uses. And here is a small image about the apparatus. Observe carefully and learn science. Activity, experiment and practicals. Statutory warning is that, my dear friends, under the guidelines and in the presence of science master or a teacher or a subject experts, you should carefully handle the instrument because chemicals are hazardous to health and the glass apparatus you are dealing with. You should be very cautious during your practical classes, particularly in the chemicals used, especially in these strong acids like hydrochloric acid, sulfuric acid, nitric acid and all what you are using during the experiments in your chemistry classes, in the chemistry experiments. Now I would like to give a theoretical knowledge about the Carl-Will scale. Oxygen was discovered about 1772 by the Swedish chemist Carl Wilhelm Scheele, who obtained it by heating potassium nitrate, mercury oxide and many other substances. This is the person. Coming to the Lavoisier, this is a person, Antony Laurent Lavoisier. In 1775 to 80, French chemist Antony Laurent, with a remarkable insight, interpreted the role of oxygen in the respiration as well as combustion. Discarding the phlogiston theory, which had been accepted up to that time, he noted its tendency to form acids by combining with many different substances and accordingly named the element as oxygen. Oxygene. In the Greek word and the Greek terminology, it is the meaning of oxygen is acid former. Another important scientist by name Joseph Priestley, an English chemist, Joseph Priestley, independently discovered oxygen in 1774 by the thermal decomposition of mercuric oxide and published his findings the same year, 3 years before the Steele published. This is the Joseph Priestley in his laboratory. The oxygen atom is an atom of the chemical element oxygen. The electrically neutral atom contains 8 positively charged protons and 8 negatively charged electrons bound to the nucleus by Coulomb force. Atomic hydrogen constitutes about 75% of the baryonic mass of the universe. Chemical properties of oxygen at standard temperature and pressure, STP. 2 atoms of the element bind to form dioxygen, a colorless, odorless, tasteless diatomic gas with the formula oxygen. Oxygen is a member of the chalcogen group on the periodic table and is highly reactive nonmetallic element. This is some of the important points to be remembered. Atomic number is 8. Atomic weight is 15.999. For practical consideration, it is considered as 16. Symbol is O and the electronic configuration is 2s2p4. Name is oxygen and it is a crystal structure. Other nonmetals is gas. This is the oxygen atom, consists of 8 protons and 8 electrons. Now, let us discuss about the importance of oxygen in the human body and other gases also, and the atmospheric nitrogen, oxygen and other things in the atmosphere. Nitrogen is 78%, oxygen is 20%, carbon dioxide, other gases 0.3%, etc. Inert gases is 0.97% and water vapor is 1% in the atmosphere. The human body consists of other things and 3% of nitrogen and at the part of neck. Hydrogen is 10% in the chest part and carbon is 18% in the digestive system or abdomen and 65% below the abdomen. Oxygen. Allotropy. What is allotropy? You know, my dear friends, allotropy is a phenomena in which certain elements having same atomic number but different atomic masses. For example, oxygen has 2 allotropic forms, diatomic oxygen O2 and triatomic oxygen O3, which is called ozone. The properties of diatomic form suggest that 6 electrons bond to the atoms and 2 electrons remain unpaired, accounting for the paramagnetism of oxygen. The 3 atoms in the ozone molecule do not lie along a straight line. Ozone may be produced from oxygen according to the equation 3O2 and which leads to the 2O3. Monoatomic oxygen, that is oxygen, and triatomic oxygen, that is ozone. And this is diatomic oxygen and this is triatomic oxygen, which is called ozone. This is oxygen atom. Hydrogen has 3 allotropes. This is second example for allotropy. We had already discussed in the previous class. The structure of atomic hydrogen can be imagined like an inflated spherical balloon. Protium, deuterium and tritium, the 3 isotopes of hydrogen. Ground state of oxygen atom. You know, my dear friends, this is the advanced modern chemistry, electronic configuration in which the ground state, oxygen consists of 1s, 2s, 2p. In 1s orbital, 2 electrons are revolving around the nucleus of an atom, and in 2s orbital, 2 electrons and in 2p orbital, 2 electrons and 1 electron isolated are in the ground state of oxygen atom. During the excited state of carbon atom, for example, you can take the excited state of carbon atom. This will be discussed later in our next forthcoming classes about the distribution of electrons, that is electronic configuration.